Meeting of the Sacramento Regional Sanitation District, Sacramento Area Sewer District to order at 9:31, and direct the clerk to call the roll to establish quorum.
Good morning. Member Bruins?
Present.
Harris?
Here.
Frost? Frost?
Here.
Thank you. Hume?
Here.
Kennedy?
Here.
Lolo'i?
Here.
Singh Allen?
Here.
Sander? Natoli? Orozco? Howell?
Here.
Cerna?
Here.
Valenzuela? Fang?
Here.
Chenier? Villegas?
Here.
And Desmond.
Here.
And you do have a quorum.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, I will ask my director who's joined me in chambers today, Director Villegas, to lead us in the pledge.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic
United States of America, and to the republic which stands
indivisible,
under God.
liberty and justice. Okay, thank you. Madam Clerk, please read the statement and public comment procedures.
This meeting of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento Area Sewer District is being broadcast live on Metro Cable 14, the local government affairs channel on the Comcast Consolidated Communications and AT&T U-verse cable systems. This meeting is closed captioned and live streamed at metro14live.saccounty.gov. Today's meeting will replay Sunday, May 29th at 9 a.m. on Channel 14. This meeting can also be viewed at youtube.com/Metro Cable 14. In accordance with Government Code 54952.3, compensation for meeting of these legislative bodies is required to be verbally disclosed. The amount of $100 will be paid for each member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, and the amount of $100 will be paid for each board member participating today as a member of the Sacramento Area Sewer District. Compensation for Sacramento County supervisors and City of Sacramento council members is paid to the county and city respectively to partially offset the costs of those governments. Compensation for other board members is delivered to the individuals. The county fosters public engagement during the meeting and encourages public participation, civility, and use of courteous language. The county does not condone the use of profanity, vulgar language, gestures, or other inappropriate behavior, including personal attacks or threats directed towards any meeting participant. In compliance with the directives of the county, state, and Centers for Disease Control and Prevention, the meeting is live streamed and open to public attendance pursuant to health and safety guidelines. The practice of social distancing and wearing of face coverings, mask, or shield is recommended for the health and safety of all persons participating in person during the meeting, although it is not required. To make in-person public comment, please complete a speaker request form and hand it to the clerk. The chairperson will call your name when it is your turn to make a comment. To make a verbal comment at today's meeting, dial 916-875-2501 and follow the prompts. When the chair opens public comment for a specific agenda item or off-agenda matter, callers will be contacted by phone and transferred into the meeting to make their public comment. You may also send a written public comment to boardclerk@saccounty.net, and your comments will be routed to the board and filed in the record. And that concludes my announcements.
Okay, thank you, Alma. We have a full agenda today. We have a presentation by some folks here in chambers, as well as public comment, or folks lined up for public comment. So what I'm going to mix it up a little bit. I'm not going to have the clerk read out each of the consent items specifically, unless there is a board member with specific comments or questions about those consent items. So that being said, I'll start with item 1, which is a sanitation district and sewer district consent matter. And I'll ask if any directors have any comments or questions about that consent item.
I'll move the item otherwise.
Kennedy, second.
I'm sorry, who was the second?
Kennedy, Mr. Kennedy.
Okay, we have first, any public comment on item 1?
We have not received any public comment and no slips to speak in chambers.
Okay, so unless there are any other further comments, please call the roll for item 1.
Member Bruins?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Lolo'i?
Aye.
Singh Allen?
Aye.
Sander? Natoli? Orozco,
Aye.
Howell,
Yes.
Cerna,
Aye.
Valenzuela, Bang,
Yes.
Chenier, Villegas,
Aye.
and Desmond.
Aye.
And the motion carries with those members present.
Okay. Thank you. We'll move on to item 2, which is a district's separate matter. Madam Clerk, please call the item.
Item number 2, acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and the Sacramento Area Sewer District, district separate matters, future staffing options and potential merger for Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District and Sacramento Area Sewer District.
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Welcome, Mike. I'll turn it over to you.
Awesome. Good morning, Chair and members of the board. I'm Mike Hewitt, and I'm the Director of Policy and Planning, and I am co-presenting the potential merger and future staffing update for Regional SAN and SASD. I'm going to cover a little bit of background and the merger discussion, and then I'm going to pass it on to Matt, who's going to discuss the future staffing options and close out the presentation. So back in 2018, the districts launched 2 concurrent consultant studies that were prompted by the Master Interagency Agreement expiring in June 30th, 2024. The merger study looked at combining Regional SAN and SASD into one district. Currently, Regional SAN and SASD are 2 special districts that are governed by 2 different boards. Regional SAN has a little bit of a broader service area, but both are managed by one general manager, and they're complementary in services and well in sync, and so there's belief that there'd be efficiencies and streamlining of processes if they were to merge. The other study is a staffing study, and that was looking at bringing staffing in-house to the districts, which are currently contracted through the County of Sacramento or provided by the County of Sacramento. And the MIA, Master Interagency Agreement, formalizes the roles and responsibilities for wastewater management in the Sac Metro area, and there's signatories to that agreement. There's Regional SAN, the contributing agencies, including SASD, and the County of Sacramento. That was recently extended out till 2071. However, the County of Sacramento is no longer going to be a party of that agreement as of June 30th, 2024, which relieves the county of the obligation to provide staffing for the districts. And so that's the reasoning to look further into the staffing for the districts. So, I'm sorry, I'm not controlling the slides well here. Apologize. I already went through the first slide here, and I'm going to go through the next. So both studies, the merger study and the staffing study, evaluated the advantages and disadvantages of merging and bringing staff in-house. And both studies were completed in late 2019. And the recommendations for both studies, for the merger study, was to merge Regional SAN and SASD into one district. The recommendations from the staffing study was to bring the majority of staffing in-house to the districts, and Matt's going to spend a little bit more on that a little bit later. And so in discussing those recommendations, a board subcommittee was formed in October 9th, 2019. They met several times. I think it was 7 in total. And the final meeting was on January 27th, 2021, to discuss, the findings of the studies and next steps. Another key component of the subcommittee was to talk about the MIA, and that has since been settled and agreed upon. The staffing services, there were guiding principles that were developed as a part of that, the board subcommittee, and those helped facilitate discussions with the county. The merger study was put on hold until the new district engineer got put in place, so here we are now. And next slide. So as I said, the merger study, which I'm going to focus on here, was put on hold, but we got it back going again, started the ball rolling this last January. And so staff reached out to a number of folks We reached out to the consultant team, we reached out to LAFCO, reached out to Regional Water Quality Control Board, and other experts in the arena of merging, consolidating, so we can understand the process a little bit better and help us, firm up our recommendation on what we should do as regards to the merger. I do want to note that after talking with LAFCO, we got a letter that summarized the processes and the policy issues, comprehensive 6-page letter, which is attachment B in the board package. Got that from Jose, who's the executive director at LAFCO, and we were just very impressed how quickly he responded with that memo and how detailed it was. So that was very helpful, and I believe he's on the line too, so kudos to Jose. So we also determined that the legal aspect of the merger is the key focus for the first phase if we decide to pursue merging. That will help us if we merge and become one entity. Then if we do decide to bring on county staffing in-house to the districts, it'll be one landing spot as opposed to having 2 landing spots, one with SASD and one with Regional SAN, and then deciding to merge later, which just creates an extra step and some more complexity there. So, like I mentioned earlier, we're looking more into the process of merging. We want to make sure that there's no blind spots we're missing. We want to, turn over each stone, make sure there's nothing left unturned, so there's no surprises that would maybe potentially delay our schedule or even be a reason to not merge, which we have not uncovered yet. Nothing is risen to that level. So we are currently developing a comprehensive schedule that'll help us understand the whole process and getting all our resources needed. So if we do move forward with merging, we'll be ready to go. So with that, I'm going to hand over the presentation to Matt.
Thank you, Mike. Welcome, Matt.
Welcome, thank you. Is there any way I can lower this? This is like in my eyesight.
Yes, we can do that.
Thank you. He's not much taller than me, but. So, good morning, Chair Desmond and board members. I'm going to focus on the merger study, as Mike mentioned. I am Matt Doyle. I'm the Director of Internal Services Department. I was put as the lead for this effort. And so really, Mike did a good job of talking about this. I'm not going to go too much into the background. But as Mike mentioned, the consultant back in 2018, let me progress here. The consultant back in 2018 recommended that the majority of the staffing come to the districts in-house. Those services included legal counsel, treasurer finance, human resources, risk management, payroll, fleet, and construction management. The consultant also recommended that a few services remain in full or in part with the county as follows, and that would be information technology via DTEC, board support, and then billing via CUBS. So this slide is basically an update that occurred following the final board advisory committee on January 27th of 2021. In March of 2021, your board was updated with and received the presentation on the guiding principles to be used in determining the future staffing options for the districts. Later that year in July, 2 future staffing alternatives were discussed with your board, and staff was directed to discuss the alternatives with the county and the county executive. So here's the 2 alternatives that were presented to your board and initially discussed with the county. We have alternative 1, which is staff providing all of the services other than those currently provided by county DTEC, board clerk, consolidated utility billing services, better known as CUBS, should be the district's employees. It's worth noting that this is the alternative recommended by the staffing services study. Alternative 2, executive staff, and it could be the top 3 layers. We'd have to really take a look. It could be some iteration of that. Will become exempt district employees, and the rest of the services indicated in the prior alternative and alternative 1 could be provided by county staff under more significant control by the districts. So on January 12th of this year, it seems like a long time, but we started the process to meet with the county. So we had our SMEs meet with the county's SMEs and started to cover the specific service areas that we identified. This slide represents just an example of the process that has taken place so far. We started with Fleet Services and Treasury Finance, and item 1, it just kind of says that we have to meet to ID services. You know, that's very basic, but that's really the foundation of the process. This really sets us up for either success or failure. We need to understand what does, for this example, it's fleet. What does fleet mean? You know, county's providing a service, we're receiving a service. Do those align? Do we have everything in order? Because we don't want to be at the very end of this where the county is no longer going to provide that service and we're not set up to take that service. That could be very bad. So the next step is to present the options and the preferences from each of the two perspectives, the county versus the district. And really, if there's a preference identified and agreed upon, that makes it easier. And then we go to item 3, which is ID the impacts and the logistics to proceed with that preference. You know, obviously, if we're going to take on that service, or if the county's going to continue to do that service for us, there's a potential impact. We want to make sure that we limit the impact as much as possible, avoid layoffs for the county, and make everything whole. Finally, once we go through that process, we establish subcommittees with the various SMEs. So the SMEs from the county side and the district side, they create these subcommittees to create the schedule and basically the transition plan. So this slide goes into more further detail of the example of Fleet Services and how important that first meeting is and the subsequent meeting after that. And looking specifically at Fleet, we have identified 3 main service buckets that is all-encompassing for Fleet. Now, obviously, there's a lot to each of those buckets. I think there was like 3 pages. But it really came down to equipment receiving and decommissioning, and then fleet maintenance, and then finally fueling stations. So luckily, as we gone through this process, we had 3 or 4 meetings and some discussions as part of, you know, identifying what is the preference for each. And it really came down to equipment receiving and decommissioning and fleet maintenance makes sense from even both sides to go transition to the districts. However, the fueling stations, it was determined that the best for both the districts and the county would be to remain with the county fleet. And there's a few reasons, but the primary reason would be the regulatory requirements are pretty complex. But even more so, with fueling stations, it doesn't just apply or affect county fleet or districts. It really affects numerous other county departments that utilize the fueling stations, including SAC sheriffs, waste management, and really any other department that has a fleet. And we don't have the infrastructure, or it's not within our scope of work to be doing fueling and billing and collecting data. So that leaves us to alternative 3. So as we started these discussions and these meetings with the county, the 2 that we had started off with, Treasury Finance and Fleet, what became apparent was that a 3rd option not previously identified was more likely the best approach for both the county and the districts, which is identified as alternative 3. So alternative 3 is all staff currently assigned to the Sanitation District Agency plus Human Resources would become district employees, and all the remaining services would really be reviewed separately to determine individually what services and where they would reside. Would they stay with the county or would they come to the districts? That process is the districts and the county would jointly review the remaining services, and then come to a mutual agreement, hopefully, to continue those services. And if they do, then a service level agreement would be created for those continued services. Now, if either party is unwilling to proceed with the service level agreement, then we would either obtain those services with additional district staff, or we would contract that out with a third party. So our next steps is to continue discussions with the county on the staffing and the remaining services, keep going through that cycle of meetings, and we also need to kind of narrow down the preferred alternative going forward. And staff preference, at least from the district's perspective at this time, alternative 3, as it allows each party to review services independently and reach an optimal outcome for each service. And that kind of was reflected as we went through those first 2 service buckets. Next, we would complete our evaluation of a potential merger. And a lot of this obviously will be in parallel. And then finally, return to your board with recommendations on both by late summer 2022. So that concludes the presentation. I'm happy to take any questions along with Mike or Christoph.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you. I'm sure there will be some comments and questions from my fellow directors. But a question I had, so just so I'm clear, that the example of the fleet services, that's just one example
That's
of the
just one.
buckets that you're evaluating through this lens, through this process, right? Okay.
Yeah.
And then any sense of the costs or cost savings associated with each of those 3 alternatives? Do you have a sense of that yet before the board gives direction or a preference?
We would have some of that information certainly before your board makes a decision on a recommendation. We did some, I would say, high-level overview estimates, and so we have a report. I don't have that with me, but that was provided to the subcommittee. But a lot of it, cost is a factor, but I think that a lot of it boils down to the district's ability to sort of control its own destiny. And in the process, we're definitely committed to making sure there's a minimal impact both on the county and obviously on the district as well. So I don't see a huge difference in cost, at least initially. It's going to look pretty similar. I think that we ultimately can drive more efficiencies within the district when we have the management control.
But the costs will be, the savings will be realized in terms of the efficiencies that we would see. That would be the idea, right? Okay. Okay, any questions or comments from directors?
I do not see any hands
Director
raised in
Villegas.
Zoom.
Just very briefly. First of all, thank you for the presentation. I know this is a huge lift, a lot of work, a lot of moving parts. It's been in process for quite some time. I like what you've laid out. I mean, I think the way in which you're going through kind of the systematic verifying kind of what works with all parties and then which ones don't, and then we set those aside and then work on the ones we can work on. I think that makes sense. I guess the one thing that I would offer or suggest coming back to us when you do come back later this summer, I recall distinctly in the subcommittee work many years ago, the kind of the guiding principle conversation, because it wasn't always about dollars and cents efficiency. It was about administrative efficiency. It was about being able to recruit and retain classifications that are unique to the district. There were a lot of reasons why the conversation evolved. And so I think for me, it would be helpful as we come up with the recommendations that we can score the reasons why the changes are being recommended in the event that there are questions about it. Because there were different reasons why we were doing a lot of this, and they're not all the same, right? Some of it is straight up savings for ratepayers, which is our, kind of our obvious #1 policy priority. But some was about being able to administer the recruitment efforts and the classifications and the changes in the HR work, not necessarily related to the sort of the dollars and cents, but nonetheless equally important. So I just want to remind us of that part of it. It'd be helpful when you guys come back.
Will do. Yeah.
Thank you, Director.
Thank you.
Great points. And any other comments or questions from directors?
I do see Director Harris and then Director Hume with their hands raised.
Okay, Director Harris.
And I can't seem to get my hand raise feature to work.
So we'll do Director Harris, Director Hume, then Director Howell. How about that? The H's.
Thank you.
Starting with you, Jeff.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate this presentation, and Director Villegas's comments are spot on. Actually, I was going to say something quite similar. At the next presentation, I just ask that staff clearly delineate the efficiencies that can be brought with this merger. And I think that Director Villegas really pointed to most of them, but it would be a pretty essential part of the discussion as the board deliberates this. There'll be some cost savings possibly realized, but as Director Villegas pointed out, there are many benefits that are realized in various aspects of the possibility of this merger. So at the next presentation, please include all of those variables. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director Harris. Okay, Director Hume.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. I just want to echo exactly what my colleague Director Harris said. I thought Director Villegas put a fine point on some of the things that were discussed in the subcommittee relative to some of the less cost-related reasons of why we might be finding efficiencies. And so, whereas we certainly don't want to aim to bloat the organization at the expense of the ratepayers, there are other things that we were looking at relative to the unique work that we do. So I'd like to see those listed as well. Thank you.
All right, great, thank you. And Christoph, something I would add actually is that you and I had a conversation briefly the other day about what the representation would look like for the directors after the merger. So I hope that would be included as well when you come back. Director Howell.
Yeah, I just want to thank all of the staff. This investigation's been ongoing for a very, very long time, goes back at least to the previous director, and I think those conversations started before Prabhakar. I think we're getting to the place that we need to be, and I think that the cost savings will go along with the administrative advantages that we see by separating from the county and merging the districts. And I think the rest of that will just fall into place. It may not be obvious right now, but when we don't have administration going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth about job classifications and all of the seemingly minor things that have been big time sucks, I think all the organizations will be the better off. So thanks to everybody that worked so hard on this.
Okay, thank you, Director Howell. Anyone else? Alma, do you see?
I do not see anyone else with their hands raised.
So I'll ask you, Krista, do you have enough feedback from directors, do you think, to come back? Okay.
Absolutely.
Not seeking anything else.
We'll be back with the recommendation, but even as you mentioned, the governance, for example, is an issue to discuss. We'll probably be at that time recommending a subcommittee to work on some of the issues like that so that we can work through them.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, and I'll add my thanks to your staff for all your work on this, and very, very much appreciate it. And we'll look forward to hearing back from you again. Okay, we'll move on to item 3, Director and District Engineer matters. And I'll first ask any comments or items for discussion by board members for future consideration, or by directors. See anything?
I do not see anyone with their hands raised.
Okay, then I'll turn it over to you, Christoph, for your report.
Just really quick, there are no meetings scheduled for June, so those 2 meetings were canceled, and our next meeting will be on July 13th, and that's all I have.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we'll move on to the Sanitation District consent matters. Those are items 4 through 6.
Chair,
yes, Director Harris.
May I make a comment, please? I just wanted Christoph to note that the city council break is from the 3rd through the 16th. So that referenced regional SAN meeting, there may be some council members absent.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. And Director Harris, actually, Madam Clerk, I forgot to ask, was there any public comment on item 2?
There were no public comments on item 2 or
See,
item
I forgot.
3.
I told you I'd forget. Okay, any public comment on item 3?
No, sir, there are none.
All right, thank you, Director Harris, for that. So now we'll move on to items 4 through 6, which are consent matters. Any director want to call off any consent item?
Otherwise, I'll move consent.
Motion.
Hume, second.
Okay, a motion from Director Howell, second from Director Hume. Any public comment on the consent items 4 through 6?
No, we do not have any public comments.
Please, okay, please call for a vote.
Bruins?
Aye.
Harris?
Aye.
Frost,
Aye.
Hume,
Aye.
Kennedy,
Aye.
Laloe, Laloe, Singh Allen,
Aye.
Sander, Natoli. Oh, thank you. Is that Member Sander? Member Natoli? Orozco?
Aye.
Howell?
Yes.
Cerna? Valenzuela?
Yes.
Bang?
Yes.
Chenier? Villegas?
Yes.
And Desmond?
Aye.
And that's a unanimous vote. I'd just like to call Mr. Cerna again. I did not hear a vote from him, but I do see him on the Zoom. So that is a unanimous vote with those members present.
Okay, great. Thank you. So moving on to item 7, that's off agenda. Items not on the agenda. Any public comment?
I did not receive any
off-agenda
public
items.
comment or slips for off-agenda comments.
Okay. Great. Okay, then we'll move on to item number 8. Madam Clerk, please call this item.
Item number 8, acting as the Sacramento Regional County Sanitation District, is to discuss and direct to staff on biogeneration facility project RFP related to fuel cell hydrogen technologies.
Okay, thank you. So what I'd like to do with this item is first I will hear from staff, and then we have some folks in chambers who are going to be giving a presentation. I believe every director received a copy of the PowerPoint that's going to be presented by the presenters. And then what I'd like to do, the purpose of this item is to hear feedback and direction from the directors to staff. So after we hear from the presentation and we hear feedback from the directors, I'd like to give, of course, our staff a chance to respond to those with some ideas and feedback. So with that, I will, Christoph, were you going to kick this off?
Just a very quick, Yep, just to get it rolling. So as your board is aware, we are discussing our Biogen project. This is the project where we use our biogas to generate electricity. And the current proposed project is to use internal combustion engines. And again, as you're aware, Fuel Cell Energy is interested in using their fuel cell technology to accomplish that same thing. I see one potential policy discussion or issue here, and that is around the experience requirement. This is something that we have currently in our statements or requests for qualifications, and that experience requirement would have to be relaxed in order to allow Fuel Cell to participate in the procurement process, which is currently underway. The staff believes that is a bit of a risky precedent to set, and so our recommendation will follow from that. Despite some of the concerns that we have made provisions for a hydrogen project to allow for a small amount of hydrogen to also be generated in addition to the project that we are proposing. We also remain open to the possibility of using fuel cells in the future if we need additional capacity and fuel cells have additional time to demonstrate their reliability, specifically on wastewater biogas. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Steve Nabozic, as Senior Civil Engineer, to go through our presentation.
Okay, great. Thank you, Chris. Thank you, Steve. And I would just say to my directors or fellow directors, if you have a comment, please chime in. I've become accustomed to directors having questions as we go through a slideshow. I have a very short attention span, so if something pops into my head, I like to ask the question right away. So please feel free to do that. And know that I can't see your hand, so you'll have to just chime in if you have a question as we go through. Okay, Steve, please.
Well, then you've put me up to a challenge because I think we have a couple of long presentations. Good morning, Chair, members of the board. I'm Steve Nabozic, and I'm here today to discuss the biogeneration facility project, compare engine and fuel cell technologies, and I'm also going to talk a little bit about hydrogen. I'm going to start with some background on our project, and I'm going to dive right in to the details on why we don't think fuel cells are a viable option for us to consider. So back at your April 27th board meeting, Fuel Cell Energy made the request for an opportunity to participate in the biogeneration facility procurement so a hydrogen fuel cell proposal can be considered. And the first point I want to make is fuel cells were originally screened out early on in our evaluation because of significant reliability concerns we have with the technology. And then in last summer, Fuel Cell Energy reached out to us. So we went back and we really dug in deep on the fuel cell technology. We had multiple discussions with fuel cell, but our concerns still remain. So I'm going to provide the technical reasons on why we have those concerns, and then I'm going to go over some of the risk factors to our project if you direct us to include fuel cell in the procurement and grant the request. So here's a little bit about hydrogen. It's about all I'm probably going to focus on it. I know there's other interested people in the audience that might talk about it a little bit. I just want to mention that during the process of having discussions with Fuel Cell Energy, we had the opportunity to meet with some of the local air officials and hear their concerns and get their input on the project that we're proposing. They voiced a strong desire to start delivering renewable hydrogen to the Sacramento region. So we went back and worked into the current Biogen scope, basically providing a stub out and reserving some space for the future to support the request. So Biogen is currently scoped right now, would allow after it's constructed to stream off some of our gas after it's conditioned and feed a reformer that could then start a hub, I guess, in the Sacramento region. And these slides are a little long in discussion up front, but I think it starts rolling after this a little bit. The main driver for the project is the expiration of the commodity agreement we have with SMUD. It expires in 2025, and it's really what opens the door for us to consider any options with our biogas. We've been in that agreement, and it's been a great partnership since the mid-90s. It requires that we sell all our gas to SMUD, and in return, they provide us process heating for our digesters. The main drawback and a major drawback with the agreement is because we sell our gas to a third party, in SMUD in this case, and we have a quantity that exceeds those established. We're regulated as a covered process under the California Accidental Release Program, and that's a really costly and onerous regulation. We probably spend about $1 million a year in burdensome administrative work that really doesn't provide much benefit. So we've really been wanting to explore options to consider as far as future use of our biogas. So with the door open to consider the alternatives, we developed project goals to guide us along with our decision making, and they include receiving an exemption status from covered process by using gas on site, and we want to do that with a low risk, reliable, and resilient solution, and that's really important for you guys to understand that. This project represents a significant change to the way we've been conducting our gas disposal and our process heating operations, and both of those are tied to regulatory requirements that we want to make sure that we are able to continue to meet. Let me just touch on how those regulatory requirements affect those inputs. For heat, our digesters need a constant source. They need a constant source of it to maintain minimum operating temperatures so we can comply with EPA regulations for processing our biosolids. And in terms of gas disposal, our gas is always being produced and it needs a place to go. If the receiving end, what we put in place to replace SMUD, if it's not available, we have to flare our gas. And we have air permits that limit the amount of time we can do that. And also it's a waste of a renewable resource. It's, we want to implement a project that's going to minimize our flaring in the future. Again, just to note that SMUD has provided us a really reliable source of our gas disposal and our process heating. They've been doing so for almost 30 years, and we want that reliability to continue when we switch over to using the natural gas on site. So as currently scoped, the biogeneration facility project is 12 megawatts of advanced lean burn internal combustion engines that include the best available emissions control technology. It'll use all regional sands biogas on site to co-generate renewable greenhouse-free power and heat. It's fully compliant with CEQA and air district requirements, and now it includes a connection for a future renewable hydrogen project. And we've been at this for a while. Our efforts kicked off in September of 2019, and to date, we've selected internal combustion engines as the best technology. We've also selected fixed price design build as the best procurement package to support the technology. We've issued a request for qualifications, received statements of qualifications, and shortlisted 3 design build contractors that we're currently working with. We have a draft environmental impact report ready to go out and a request for proposal as well ready to go out. We're about 3 years in to project development, and we've invested about $2 million to date. So when regional sand moves forward, especially with, they do it for all projects, but we like to really make sure we've developed good experience requirements on the larger projects. We want to ensure that those coming in to propose are well qualified to deliver. So for this project, design builders must have design and construction experience at a minimum of 3 projects, at least 4 megawatts in size, a minimum of 3 projects at 1,000 cubic feet per minute biogas capacity. They must have experience with at least 4 gas conditioning systems of similar size and complexity. And the technology that's specified needs to have been used in at least 3 applications of similar size and have servicing and support facilities within 150 miles. Engines are known to meet all of these requirements, and based on our research and studies, we don't think that fuel cells do. As we continue on talking about experience, I just want to point out natural gas experience is not equivalent to biogas experience for fuel cells. The concerns that we're sharing prior to this and throughout this presentation are about fuel cell performance in regards to fuel cells that operate at wastewater treatment plants on biogas. We know fuel cells work good on natural gas, and we're not questioning that. They've been performing well on natural gas for years. The issues we see are at wastewater treatment plants because wastewater biogas contains moisture and contaminants, so the equipment must be resilient, and gas cleanup systems are critical. While fuel cells may be working towards this for biogas operations, we don't think they're there yet. So the next couple of slides are going to summarize fuel cell experience and performance we've seen at wastewater treatment plants in the United States. After 20 years, only 3 fuel cells are in service on wastewater biogas. No biogas fuel cells have demonstrated more than 7 years of operation, and uptime of failed installations is estimated at about 60% based on available information. Again, if a facility's not running, more flaring, wasted resource, more emissions. So, going to dive a little deeper into what we found as far as a summary of their experience.
Steve, let me just briefly stop right now. Any questions, comments from directors at this point so far? Just want to make sure I'm not missing anything.
I'm past halfway.
Okay. All right. Great. Keep going. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay. So just continuing on, this is a list of fuel cell projects at wastewater treatment plants. Show the facility names and the size of the project that was installed on the left. Over on the right, we're showing the years that they operated, and if we could find available information through reaching out to the folks that are on the list, we've indicated what their reported uptime was how during that period of operation. The gray represents projects that are no longer in operation, and the green show the ones that are still online. And this right here is probably the best slide that shows what we think are very legitimate concerns. We have a very large capital project, total cost of around $125 million. Its failure to perform in the short or long term has significant regulatory requirements. Based on the data we've collected, we don't think fuel cells has demonstrated an ability to perform at wastewater plants, and we don't think implementing a project of this size is the next logical step in their development. Fuel Cell Energy has acknowledged past performance, so they have commented to us on those gray bars, but we weren't able to really get into detail. It kind of can be summarized as, "Hey, we fixed it." A little more detail on that comment. What they've indicated is third-party gas conditioning systems have failed in the past, again, up on those gray bars, and they've taken that in-house now, and they design it on their own. But that's a pretty brief statement for a $125 million project. We don't think it's enough. We've asked for a lot of documentation and data, but we haven't received anything substantial. Lacking information, I've tried reaching out to the agencies shown in green. One of them called to get some data. One of them called me back and responded, but he wasn't really able to provide anything because they have to sign non-disclosure agreements with Fuel Cell Energy. So it's really hard to find data, and we've made it known to Fuel Cell Energy that we would like to see data, but we kind of get broad responses. So this is where we're at as staff. There was a comment that was received late last night about that Fuel Cell Energy submitted to your board, and it claims 94% uptime. Our comment is that they provided, again, it's an example of a broad statement that they provide, but they provide us no verifiable data to really dig in and try to make the determination for ourselves. I did specifically request operating data a while back when we were first talking with them, and I was very specific in the request. We don't need monthly averages. We need to see minute by minute data that has timestamps. We need to see if the fuel cell's in operation. We need to see what fuel's being fed to it. A lot of their contracts will let them to supplement the biogas with natural gas. And in real time next to that, we need to see the flare information. We need to know if that thing's not operating or when it's operating, that's a double check to make sure it's not operating on natural gas and they're flaring all their biogas. We haven't received any information from them. If we were asked to compile that type of minute-by-minute data from our plant control system, it'd take a matter of just a couple of minutes and a few keystrokes to be able to produce that data. So I guess that's where we are with that. What are similar sized wastewater treatment plants doing? I'll point out Orange County Sanitation District. They're a larger sanitation district like we are. They've piloted fuel cells. Ultimately, they invested in upgrading their emission controls on their existing engines to meet air permit requirements. The same emission controls from one of the strictest air districts in the state that we're proposing for our project. The city of San Jose entered into a 20-year power purchase agreement in 2012. We think the agreement's still in effect, but to our understanding, the fuel cell's non-operational. San Jose just commissioned a new engine-based cogeneration facility in 2021, so last year. It's very similar to ours, scope, size. And so this is a decision that other wastewater treatment plants are making that are in similar situations to us. And the one I do want to note before I leave this, it seemed about the most appropriate spot to mention it. We did reach out to SMUD. We consider ourselves innovators. About 10 years ago, when we were doing a lot of renewable, we were looking at wind, solar, we were looking at fuel cells. We contacted SMUD to see if they wanted to participate potentially in a pilot. And we needed their cooperation because they contractually own all our gas. They weren't interested. They cited the same things that I'm trying to relay to you right now. So. Again, along with requirements, when you consider the 3 facilities that Fuel Cell Energy has running right now, their combined capacity is under half of our project size. Again, they don't meet our experience requirements. We've covered some aspects of performance in the previous slides, but these are specifically included in the engine procurement, so I thought we'd spell them out. Use of all available biogas by designing for 100% uptime through N+1 redundancy. We have a very resilient system that we have designed. It's designed and engineered to meet 100% uptime with performance guarantees at 95% uptime that the contractor would have to pay damages on if they weren't able to meet that. Oh, sorry, thank you. So I talked about the redundancy, combined efficiency, power generation, and heat recovery has to be greater than 80%. And they have to satisfy all of our heat needs. So this, I want to jump over to a comment that we all received last night from Fuel Cell Energy in regards to heat recovery. We stand by our statements and our finding that a boiler to supplement daily operations would be required by a fuel cell project. We've used Fuel Cell Energy's published data on their website to make the determination on the quantity of heat from their systems that would be provided to us. And I'll move on instead of getting into that a little bit more. But and then Fuel Cell also brought up the need for a standby boiler. The response to that is we agree. Regional SAN requires redundancy of all its process operations. Our point is that fuel cells need a boiler continuously running day in and day out to supplement our heat needs that they can't meet with the technology. Engines don't. And then a final comment that from Fuel Cell Energy, at least for this slide, that we received yesterday, was in regards to the covered process regulation and gas storage. And the statement that fuel cells don't need gas storage to operate. Again, we agree. I think Fuel Cell might have been confused or not confused, misunderstanding some of the points we had when we were talking about redundancy. One of the representatives said a lot of time they'll add storage as opposed to a unit. It's more cost effective. My messaging just was, you can't provide storage right now. We're in covered process. We can't increase our our inventory of methane gas, that when they were evaluating the project, they should be doing it through redundancy. Also, even with our engine technology. All right, a couple more. Fuel Cell Energy submitted another comment yesterday on carbon neutral fuel, and then also a CARB quote about combustion and fossil fuels, on the combustion of fossil fuels and climate change. Weren't really sure we understand the comment, but I'm just going to try to run through this table as efficiently as possible. And I think it touches on, I think we're in agreement with fuel cell. Both these technologies, it's a renewable fuel. Both these technologies are going to be delivering greenhouse gas-free power when they're operating. So we've under greenhouse gases, we've showed zero emissions for both. And then criteria air pollutants, we understand the engines are going to have some criteria air pollutants. Again, they would be air district compliant, and we also understand that when the gas is put to beneficial use, fuel cells are almost zero. They have very slight emissions. You know, I can't get much closer to zero. For boiler operations, we've zeroed out that for engines in both categories of emissions, because we're able to supply heat for our day in and day out operations. We've attributed higher emissions for fuel cells in both categories. And then on flares, a similar story. Because of the documented uptime, we're confident we're not going to be, with our flares not being run, near zero emissions. Fuel cells, with the uptimes that we've seen in the past, that's really what it gets to. We think that biogen is superior to emissions, it has less emissions, and it's really tied to the reliability, and it's tied to the uptime. And then to take it one step further, we had on a couple slides back, we haven't seen a bar that goes out more than 6 years. So even if they were performing well, again, we have concerns. All right. We know costs are not the main consideration, and we're not going to get into a lot of details. This was another kind of general high-level discussion with fuel cell. So I'm just going to make these general statements. We can say that our biogeneration project with engines has a positive net present value considering capital O&M costs, and it delivers power lower than the utility rate. Fuel cells, on the based on documented research that are what we consider our expert consultant, you know, historically they have higher capital costs, higher O&M costs, and that lower uptime means they're not running as much to help pay back your investment. There are procurement implications to opening up the procurement somebody making a... No.
Director Harris has his hand raised.
Oh, okay. Director Harris.
Yeah, Chair, I actually have a number of questions here. If this is the last slide, maybe we ought to let him get through it, and then I'll ask my question.
It looks like there's just a couple more.
No, it's it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we won't count the recommendation. We could hold off on that. You guys know what. We can have general discussion. I just want to note that fuel cell, that there are procurement implications. Our council has advised we'd have to start over. So it's a redo of the request for qualifications, a revision of CEQA, an update of the RFP. We think it'd take us about 18 months to get back to where we are now. We are concerned in order to allow this to happen with dropping experience requirements and the precedents that could set. And really, out of all the rest of the bullets, I just want to point you to that high risk of inflation costs and the historical inflation we're seeing. We had to delay a year. We were supposed to release the RFP about a year ago tomorrow. And part of that was technical reasons, and part of it was to finalize a project labor agreement that your board weighed in on. And over the year, no changes in project scope. Our project cost is now $14 million higher. So we have serious concerns about the inflation of doing this when staff feels that we've given fuel cells a pretty good evaluation. I can stop there.
I don't you do that. That'd be great. Thank you very much, Steve, for the presentation. And I'm sure you'll have, well, Director Harris probably won't be the only one, but I'll start with him. Jeff, go ahead.
Thank you, Chair. Steve, that was a strong presentation, kind of a tour de force about your skepticism of fuel cells and the implications. You certainly laid out all of the concerns. And I believe that most of the directors have met with staff to go over a lot of those concerns. I know that I did. If I hear you correctly, your principal concerns are about flaring potential with fuel cells, also the uptime requirement that you really need to have almost a guarantee of efficiency and not much downtime. And then there's heat recovery and that issue as well. As far as cost goes, you didn't mention, the potential of cost recovery through the sales of hydrogen gas with a fuel cell. Look, there are really potential upsides to using fuel cell technology. It sounds like you mostly looked at fuel cell energy. I'm wondering if you looked at other providers of fuel cells like Bloom Energy. So that's one question. Another question is, you've talked about doing a small pilot project, and I'm wondering if that's just to placate the board or if you actually feel like there might be potential for a fuel cell. I mean, what if you built a pilot program and it worked extremely well and very efficiently, and it turned out we had invested a lot in, a engine technology that's old and tried and true, but does create pollutants. And then we decide down the road, gosh, maybe we should have invested more in fuel cell at the front end. As far as the flaring goes, since there's a need for heat, why couldn't that gas be used to create that supplemental heat in using a fuel cell technology? It seems like there hasn't been a complete and thorough analysis of the possibilities for fuel cells. And as you indicated, you don't feel that the data has been produced by Fuel Cell Energy, but I'm not certain that staff has really dived into this deep enough. I feel a strong pushback, and I understand all the reasons why. I think certainly for myself, the temptation of creating green hydrogen is a very substantial plus when we look at our climate concerns. And as you know, us electeds have to think about the future and climate change. And regional sand is a huge player here. And this could be a wonderful project if it could be made to work with fuel cell technology. So those are a few of the questions I wanted to toss out. I would expect that in the presentation by Fuel Cell Energy, they will address some of your concerns. I agree with you that this has to be data-driven. I expect that most of my director colleagues will feel the same way, that we can't make a decision this big on a statement saying, hey, we know this works. Yeah, show us. I believe they can produce the data. We'll find out, when they are up for questioning. But if you could just address that idea, why would you even go for a pilot project if you believe as strongly as you've indicated that fuel cell technology is just not the appropriate way to go on this project?
Thank you, Director Harris. I'll start with that one. The hydrogen.
Steve, can you pull the microphones a little closer to you? A little bit.
Sorry.
So
Is that better?
Just so we can hear a little better. Thanks.
The hydrogen, I guess, smaller project that we're considering, it wouldn't use a fuel cell. That would be the engine biogen system with a stub out I'm not an expert on fuel cells. Mr. Advis could probably speak better to it than I can, but my understanding is for the fuel cell technology, there's a reforming step. It's taking the natural or the biogas, it's reforming it to hydrogen, and then with their trigen systems, you can either make energy with it or you have your renewable hydrogen right there. Well, we're looking to stay with engines and take that reformer type step and set it outside. So engines still provide energy. A reformer provides renewable hydrogen, and the envisioning is partnerships with the Air District, CARB, and maybe local transportation agencies to make good use of it.
Another issue that you brought up was that you said at the outset that you felt that fuel cells could work well with natural gas, but biogas was a real concern. Fuel Cell Energy says that they have created the technology to remove the sulfur and siloxanes and make it appropriate so that they can have continuous throughput. Again, I think that these conversations are all about demonstrating the data to staff. I'm not sure that we've explored thoroughly enough. I'd certainly like to take another crack at it. So I'll leave it to my other colleagues to follow up on some of these questions. I actually have a bunch more, but I don't want to take up too much time. I just want to say that I appreciate your hesitation. I understand all of the concerns that you presented. I think that they're realistic concerns, but I think that there may be, with more investigation, some resolution of those concerns. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Director Harris. Appreciate your thoughtfulness and your comments. Any other director at this point?
Yes, Director Hume and Kennedy both have their hands.
Okay, I'll go to Director Hume first.
Thank you, Chair. First, let me begin by saying that I could probably fill a thimble with what I know about hydrogen fuel cell technology. So I'm certainly not an expert, but I do know that it's a thing and that it's been an emerging technology for a considerable amount of time now. And I just want to start there because it's unfortunate that we didn't have this sort of policy level discussion on maybe some overriding considerations at the front end of this process so that we aren't facing an 18-month setback if the board were to override a staff's very measured and cautious position here. But Steve, that was an excellent presentation, packed full with a lot of stuff. And so I want to make sure I understand the functions of things so that as I'm hearing the future presentations, I can at least know how things are operating and what needs we need out of this technology. And so what I heard from you is that in addition to the renewable energy capture, that this technology provides a necessary heat source for the digesters, and that depending on the reliability, a boiler might be needed to augment or supplement that heat source. So far, am I tracking correctly?
Yes, even with uptime of a fuel cell, based on our calculations, they would still need a boiler for daily operations to meet our heat needs. They would need more boiler if they were not up. So I think you're tracking right.
Okay. So that's an important distinction that I didn't pick up on, is even if everything is going well, it would require that boiler to supplement. And how would that boiler be fueled then?
That it could be fueled with biogas, and it could be fueled with natural gas. I think you would have to look at the project and the technology, and then also make your priorities. If cost and renewable energy production is, perhaps you put natural gas to the boiler. If emissions are, maybe more of what it's probably good to use that biogas for a beneficial use, which would be heating, or process heating. So it really could go either way.
Okay. And then the slide that you showed with the bars of where this technology has been used, either continuing on or used and then ceased. It was very difficult to read from a virtual environment, but I think I saw that the best performing example was a 75% uptime with Dublin Sanitation District.
Yeah, I thought there's a 83 at the top.
83 at the very top?
Yeah.
And were you able to make contact with those folks or know how well that technology worked from their standpoint, or why they ceased doing that?
So there's a lot of work to do to try to capture information so we could better relay our thoughts to you guys. I focused on the ones in green. Brown and Caldwell, our consultant, they had a few staff members focusing on the ones above. My understanding is, for some there might have been a pilot facility report that gave information. For others, they tried to reach out to everybody, and either via report or direct contact is where we were able to fill in some of those bars. And if you don't see a number in there, it means we couldn't find anything.
Okay. And then my final point for right now, because I'll reserve other comments till later, but you mentioned, I don't think it was a part of this particular procurement process, but we had proposed a pilot program with SMUD to explore, rolling out this technology, which I think, just on the face of it, has a lot of promise, because I think that this technology and its application towards the electrification of all number of things, not the least of which is our fleets, as we look to electrify those and maybe get away from lithium ion as the sole fuel source. But that's to say that there might be some public benefit in refining the technology, no pun intended, so that it does have a higher reliability. But why was SMUD not willing to partner with us and whatever third source provider in order to have a robust pilot project?
Okay, thank you. I think to start, I just want to set expectations as far as what was happening. We were in depth with the whole renewable energy program, so we were putting out feelers. We didn't have a third party at the time. We were before reaching out and investigating that. We had to know if SMUD would even want to play ball, because they own our gas. They weren't interested, and part of it was with the technology and where it was, and quite honestly, part of it is they're getting a really good deal for our gas right now. There wasn't any renewable economic benefit when that agreement was started in the 90s. So it's really hard for us to persuade them maybe to want to do something different through this, because they're putting it to good use and they're doing a good thing with it, and they're also making out pretty well on the economic side of our gas. But that was I think their original response was more because of the technology. But for full disclosure, I think part of it is also the economics. It's hard to beat what they're getting.
Okay. Well, and so I guess, and this is the last point I'll make, and allow my other directors to comment before we continue here, but that's one of the biggest barriers to ingenuity in government, in my opinion, is when the reasoning becomes, well, that's not the way we've always done it. And so at some point, as I say, I think there is a public benefit in investing in improving this technology. We tried nuclear energy years ago and had some setbacks and just sort of discarded it as an option. And that was Gen 1 version, and now in Europe they're on Gen 4 and maybe even Gen 5, where they're using some of the waste product to actually create energy. And so I would be curious, and I won't put you on the spot here, but maybe at the end to come back, if there isn't some opportunity, and you mentioned a lot about redundancy at the end of your presentation, but if there isn't some opportunity for a hybrid program wherein we have the reliability of the old technology while we are helping to advance the technology from the new product. And so I'll leave it there. But thank you for a very thorough presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Director Hume. Director Kennedy.
Thank you, Chair. I'll start by saying I agree with Director Harris and the comments that he made. You know, this is sometimes what we're put in our positions. This is a classic he said scenario of dueling experts, which puts lay people who are entrusted with creating public policy in a difficult position, particularly when our own staff admits not to be an expert. In these situations, the more information for clarification, the better. I don't feel that I'm in a position right now to recommend excluding fuel cells. And I frankly would like to see Regional Sand expand the scope of the RFP to allow for consideration of hydrogel fuel cell technology. This would give us an opportunity to more thoroughly evaluate technology versus technology rather than front load the exclusion of any technology. Further, we do have to consider emerging technologies as we address climate change, which is most of us agree anyway, that it's an existential threat to our planet. Government may not be the best to develop technology, but it has a really good record of actually pushing technology and seeing it to get to where it is today. I mean, we wouldn't have the internet without the Defense Agency Research Project. We wouldn't have the electric vehicle technology that we see today and many of us drive on a daily basis without CARB, the Energy Commission, and local utilities, particularly SMUD. For these reasons, I just think that there's nothing to be harmed. I've met with both staff and the proponents of hydrogen fuel cells. I think both sides make a good argument, which leads me to want more information and want to see a more thorough analysis side by side of the technologies. I believe, and it's my opinion, that the proponents of hydrogen fuel cells, who I believe we are going to hear from later, have made a good case as to why this does not have to delay the process to the degree that I think staff is, very pessimistic on the timeline. Now, I don't want to sound like I'm being, harsh on staff. I'm not. I do think that you came to a conclusion and brought that conclusion to us, whereas I think that more analysis side by side, as I said, could be done and presented to the board to give us a more complete, fair picture of what we're discussing today. Therefore, again, I'd like to see the fuel cells analyzed through the RFP process alongside with the older technology of internal combustion engines. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director Kennedy. Any other directors with their hands up?
Supervisor Frost.
Okay, Supervisor Frost. And Supervisor Frost, before you talk, just so everybody knows, we have 20 minutes set aside for fuel cell energy and for them to make a presentation. And we also have in chambers a representative, Jaime Limas, from the Air Quality Management District as well, just so you're aware of that. Go ahead, Director
I'd like
Frost.
to make it. And I'd like to make some comments. I don't have a hand raise feature for some reason.
Okay, thank you, Carrie. I'll take Director Frost first, and then Director Howell.
Okay, thank you. I just wanted to make sure I understand correctly. I think what I heard you say is that, even though the biogen is maybe superior in reducing greenhouse gas and criteria air pollutants, there are you have it all worked out in your in the way you're processing this, that you're able to actually utilize biogas that's the engine process creates a heat process that allows you to recycle the biogas from the transfer plant. And so by using the fuel cell technology, you might then be duplicating efforts and actually end up with higher criteria pollutants and greenhouse gas, or maybe I should say not as good of a result as if you just went ahead and used utilize the engines which have emissions, but the whole process that you have set up seems to work out. Am I understanding that correctly? Sorry, my terminology.
I think so. I guess it's really about where you draw the box. We totally understand and acknowledge. You draw that box around an engine with its emission controls on it, and you draw the box around a fuel cell. Fuel cells wins on criteria air pollutants. They're both really good. I think they're both still really good stories on criteria air and greenhouse gases. But it's when you expand that box and you look at what our project's doing, and when you consider heating, and you widen that box out, and you consider your flares, and you look at the uptimes that we're seeing of these facilities, that's the box we're looking in the whole project. And when we look at it at that box with the data we have, we're confident in saying that it's the emissions with the data we have are superior, both from a greenhouse gas and a criteria air pollutant perspective.
Okay. I want to make sure I understand this, because we have spent a lot of time and money. And so what you told us is that the fuel cell did not meet minimum requirements. So of the original RFP. So if we were to move forward to go back and redo, our processes and come back with another RFP, would they then still not qualify? So we would end up delaying our processes based on your analysis. You felt that for the minimum size of project, they did not meet the minimum standard required for the RFP. So how would we be able to, then we would be changing the criteria of the RFP and have a whole different RFP going out. Am I correct in understanding that?
Yeah, this is Christoph. The way that we would do that is we would have to relax the experience requirements in the RFP. It's as simple as that, so that they would meet those experience requirements if you wanted them to compete.
And we would then also have to go out for a new environmental review and do everything, basically start over. And so then my last question for now is, what is our project timeline requirement? Or do we have any project timeline requirements that will create problems if we were to make these, changes at this late date?
Our timeline that we're shooting for is October of 2025. That's when the commodity agreement with SMUD expires. To the EI, by reading the Fuel Cell Energy's comments last night, I should probably, so yes, as far as the I just want to comment on the status of the environmental document. It is ready to be released like the RFP is right now. We're holding them to have this discussion. Depending on what you choose or how you choose to direct us, it's either ready to go out or it needs some updating. Both the CEQA document and the RFP would, if you direct us not to issue it, it's going to need to be updated to incorporate whatever your direction is.
So but if we move forward with this RFP and as planned, that doesn't mean we can't, as we are moving forward, look at fuel cell technology and try to find ways to incorporate it, correct? Christoph?
Sure. So the way that we could in the future incorporate fuel cells would be the ability to use additional gas. So if our biogas generation increases, which we expect it to because of the organics regulations, and everyone's going to be required to divert all of that organic waste from the garbage into the organic waste. That is a fuel stock for us, so in the future we would be able to bring that in, and it creates additional biogas. So it's an opportunity in the future.
Thank you. That's all for now. Thanks, Chair.
Okay. Thank you, Director Frost. Director Howell.
Okay, I'm going to wear two hats here. I'm going to wear one hat being a long time board member here and someone who lived through all of what we had to go through to get the Echo Water Project built, including all of the pilots that we did in order to select the best technology for our plant, which is one of the larger plants in the United States, particularly given that we discharge into an inland water as opposed to the ocean. That does create some distinctions for us. The second hat that I'm going to wear is as an engineer who has in the past done work at this plant and many other wastewater treatment plants. In this particular instance, we have, I think it was Patrick Kennedy that mentioned a battle of experts here. I'm not sure that I see this as a battle of experts. I see our staff who have done an amazing job at operating this plant. It is one of the better operated plants in the United States. And they are experts, true experts at operating this plant and making sure that it is properly maintained, continuously operated, and meets all of the external government requirements that we have, like air quality, all of the other permits that we have to live with. They offered to allow the fuel cell folks to do a pilot program. They chose not to do that. They didn't want to do a small pilot. So that gives me a little bit of pause. The staff has offered an opportunity for there to be a bulb out so that they can, in fact, should they choose to, set up a hydrogen facility in conjunction with our existing operations. The data that staff presented today shows that at the other wastewater plants that have tried this technology, it failed. There are only 3 left operating, and the longest time period that one of those has operated is 6 years. For a $125 million project, at least the original estimate, and given what's going on in the construction industry, that number is going to continue to increase. I personally, predominantly as an engineer, am not going to support a test of technology where our experts, our employees and administration at the plant know how to operate this plant. And the incentive on the fuel cell folks at this point is to sell emerging technology to our ratepayers. I am not willing to take that risk for all of the reasons that I just said. This technology is not proven. We have given them the opportunity to set up a facility where they could do hydrogen generation. And if the technology works, that's great. And that provides another alternative regionally, but that does not guarantee continued operation of our wastewater treatment plant. We don't have an alternative. It's the only plant that serves 2.5 million people, and it must continue to operate within our operational guidelines all the time. So with that, I'll stop.
Okay, thank you, Director Howell. Any other directors with their hands raised at this point?
Not seeing any.
One question before you step down is Director Harris did have a specific question about any other entities that you consulted. He specifically mentioned Bloom Energy. Have you spoken to anyone else other than Fuel Cell Energy about options?
No, and sorry, Director Harris, I forgot to go back to that one. We are aware that Bloom Energy, or really there's 2 options on fuel cells, at least to my understanding, at the larger scale, like we're talking about, large size units, Fuel Cell Energy and Bloom. I have not talked with Bloom, and again, we stay very focused on biogas, and from what we researched and whatnot, we're not aware of any wastewater treatment installs using biogas. I think very recently they're maybe moving forward with one in North or South Carolina. It's in the queue, but nothing to look back on as far as sharing operational data.
Okay. Well, thank you, Steve. Appreciate the presentation. Certainly don't go anywhere. At this point, I'd like to call up Nick Avdis and representatives from Fuel Cell Energy, and I believe you have a presentation, and we've set aside 20 minutes. Nick?
Yeah, well, I don't think we're going to need 20 minutes.
Okay.
I think we can kind of roll through this. I think all the discussion that happened, and by the way, Nick Avdis, the Thomas Law Group on behalf of Fuel Cell Energy, and so thank you for the time this morning. I don't think we're going to need 20 minutes, but I think what we just heard in the discussion just underscores what we're saying. We're not saying select this technology. All we're saying is do an apples-to-apples comparison. There are broad statements being made here about the proposal when admittedly, even by staff just now, they've admitted that they're not experts on fuel cells. And the whole point we're saying is open it up to the market. There are other fuel cell companies. We're not saying give it a contract to Fuel Cell Energy. We're saying open the process up, have a transparent process, because at this point it's felt like a really opaque and scattershot process. And I do agree with Member Hume's earlier comment. This was a policy discussion that should have been brought much sooner to the board, but that being the case, I mean, we are where we are. We think that I've made some pretty specific comments in response to the staff points in the letter we submitted yesterday evening, specifically as it relates to the concerns. And I would just say that again, all of these concerns should be properly evaluated in a full-blown proposal that's open to the to the public and other fuel cell technology providers. As in terms of the proven nature of the technology, Ben Toby is here. He's going to dive into that in the presentation in a moment here and kind of get into that. As it relates to the covered process question, the point there is you just need to assign the cost of compliance given the overall benefits of the project. In and of itself is not a reason not to engage in a particular policy decision. You're currently in the covered process. As it relates to the RFQ process, I disagree that the delay is going to be 18 months. I vehemently disagree with that. I think we lay out the groundwork in my letter with substantial legal justification for the determination that you don't have to change the RFQ process. The RFP process could be broken up into two steps: do a screening portion of it, and then do a selection portion. In the screening portion, you can look at the technologies on a hybrid basis and on a pilot project basis. We're absolutely, to Ms. Howell's point, not opposed to a pilot project, but a meaningful pilot project. And what that means, we're obviously hadn't had a chance to get into, but we're very much up for a meaningful pilot project to incorporate this technology. As it relates to the CEQA side of things, pretty minimal. I'd say it may be a month's delay, less, frankly, even if the document's done. I mean, I would hope that in the alternatives analysis, there is coverage and discussion of fuel cell technology as a potential alternative. So to me, it's not a big driver. I mean, at most, we're talking 4 to 6 months. I mean, I'm just guessing here. I think the point here is where there's a will, there's a way. So in any event, I'm going to pass this over to Ben to kind of go through the PowerPoint. Again, we're not going to need the full 20 minutes, but I do want to make some closing remarks.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Avdis.
Thanks very much, Nick, and thank you, members of the board and staff of Regional SAN. And I'll just take a few minutes to go through some basically prepared remarks, but I'll do my best, spontaneously to react to some of the positions that were articulated a moment ago. So I just want to thank everyone for the opportunity to speak today. My name is Ben Toby. I'm SVP of Direct Sales for Fuel Cell Energy. I live in Danbury, Connecticut, where our fuel cells are headquartered and manufactured in Connecticut. And I certainly do understand the desire on the part of staff to go the safe route and burn this biogas in combustion engines. Things have been done that way for a very long time, and there's good rationale from a mountains of reliability data perspective to go that way again. But my point is that we're in a different place now as a community. We're confronted with challenges both locally here and globally that require new thinking and encourage to look for new solutions. Fuel cells run on hydrogen produced from biogas. Not only do fuel cells provide power and hot water for the plant's needs, but hydrogen for trucks and buses and cars in the Sacramento region. That's why we're here today, to urge you to direct staff to open this Biogen RFP to new thinking and new innovation that will carry us forward. I did quote CARB. Nick and I quoted CARB in the letter we filed, but they said just last week, we must build the clean energy production and distribution infrastructure for a carbon neutral future. The solution will have to include transitioning existing energy production and transmission infrastructure to produce zero carbon electricity and hydrogen. And they do go on to say that the combustion of fossil fuels has polluted our air, particularly in low-income communities and communities of color, for far too long, and it is the root cause of climate change. FCE's, that is my company, Fuel Cell Energy, tri-generation platform is such a system. It employs electrochemistry and not combustion to convert the energy in biogas to power, thermal energy, and hydrogen. And it also produces, rather than consumes, water, which is a side benefit, but certainly noteworthy, and produces enough hydrogen to fuel 30 transit buses. A truly sustainable system that is friendly to local air quality while achieving a very low carbon intensity. And this next slide, pardon me, I should have advanced the... So on this slide, I'm not going to go into a chemistry lesson for sure, but I know some are curious about what is a fuel cell and how does this thing work and how is it different. First of all, fuel, either natural gas or biogas, is reformed into hydrogen internally in the system on the anode side of the fuel cell. Negatively charged ions flow through electrolyte to the anode, where they combine with hydrogen to produce water, heat, and electrons. The electrons cannot go back across the electrolyte to the positively charged side, which is called a cathode. Instead, they travel around it via an external circuit generating electrical current. You'll note that there is no combustion in this process, and as a result of that, air pollution emissions are minimal. Secondly, and notably, because the fuel and the air are not premixed, as they are in the case of a combustion system, the CO2 that is formed is highly concentrated at the anode exhaust and can readily be removed and sequestered underground or used downstream. And finally, and the kind of purpose of our conversation today, the excess hydrogen. So we use 70% of the hydrogen that we make internally to the system. That leaves 30% left over that we can export off board for transport applications. So I'm going to flip to the next slide. Staff cited unreliability of fuel cells in their presentation, and I want to go off script for a second and say, first of all, I really appreciate the diligence and the thoughtfulness with which staff presented their presentation. Using available information, I think they did an outstanding job. The key point relative to that chart that has the bars on it is we've proceeded in generations, as many technologies do. There was a Gen 1, there was a Gen 2, we're currently in Gen 3. Those gray bars represent, first of all, they're not all our projects, I don't think. I've been with Fuel Cell for 19 years, and there were a few on that chart that I don't think are Fuel Cell Energy projects, but 5 of them for sure were. And they're Gen 1 and Gen 2 projects. And I'd say the cause of failure there is related to that biogas cleaning step. Sulfur is a contaminant with if it gets through, it kills the fuel cell. So you've just got to get sulfur out of that biogas before it goes into the fuel cell. But the key point there, and again, I'll want to emphasize it, is that our current generation of systems, that are those 3 systems that are running in Riverside and San Bernardino and Tulare, are employing the fuel cleanup skid that we manufactured with our knowledge of how to clean up fuel for fuel cells, and they run very reliably. They are currently averaging availability and uptime of 94% across those 3 units. Now, admittedly, 3 units is not 100, but one needs to start somewhere. And since 2015, when we introduced our own fuel cleanup technology, that is the data that we are seeing, with which we would be more than happy to share with staff, and apologies that that was not forthcoming prior. I want to make a point, too, about the fuel cell industry in generally. In 2020, fuel cell shipments globally exceeded 1,000 megawatts. There are tens of thousands of fuel cells powering residential apartments in Japan, as an example. Recently, the governor of California announced a $4 billion procurement of 5,000 megawatts of new power sources for the state, which will shore up grid shortfalls, and specifically called for fuel cell technology to be included in the procurement. The challenge with biogas, as I said, is the cleanup of the fuel, and we've made progress on that, and we're substantially there. So, moving along.
As to the timing and schedule for the project, we could argue about how many number of months it is. I concur with Nick. I don't see 18 by any stretch. I think 6 is a kind of an interrupt to evaluate other technologies, other hydrogen generating technologies, after which the existing procurement can be resumed, and all 3 of the EPCs that were identified and shortlisted by staff are entirely capable of installing fuel cells. So have every confidence that those 3 selected companies can incorporate fuel cells as an alternative to combustion engines should the selection process, dictate that and the board decide to go in that direction. So
Ben,
please.
Excuse me, can I interrupt you? So
of course.
So what you're saying is that the 6-month projection for the redo the RFQ would not be necessary. Is that?
So what I'm saying is, as we stand today, I'm not an expert on CEQA or any of that stuff, but I would say, you take a 6-month timeout and you do a survey of all the available technologies that could best serve, the interests of regional SAN, the plant, as well as the community at large. You decide on which technology that is, and you then plug that into the shortlisted, companies and let them go build it.
I think, Chair Desmond, the point here is that you don't have to start over.
Okay.
That's not what we're saying. You don't have to start over.
Okay, and I, just getting to my last, slide here, which is just a picture, but I'd like to leave you with a final note about the importance of groundbreaking projects like the proposed green hydrogen power to the community and to the region. The United States Department of Energy is currently allocating $8 billion of federal funds under the bipartisan infrastructure law towards the development of hydrogen hubs. And additionally, the governor of the state of California has recently announced the intention to form a hydrogen hub in California. A green hydrogen project like the one that we think is worthy of consideration at Regional SAN, located at the crossroads, essentially, of Interstates 5 and 80 and Highway 99, represents a perfect fit for this kind of initiative. In allocating hydrogen hub funding, DOE is prioritizing those regions which have actual projects under development and concrete progress towards connecting hydrogen production, that is to say sources, with hydrogen demand. And equally important, the DOE funding will go to regions who bring diverse voices from throughout the community in support of these projects. I would argue that fuel cells, with their intrinsic advantages of low air pollution emissions, low noise, and low carbon, are the technology that can help move us forward to a cleaner future. The recent actions by the federal government in the state of California, which I mentioned, show that there is clear movement in the direction of fuel cells and hydrogen as important energy infrastructure for the state and for our nation. A fuel cell hydrogen project at what would positively contribute to all of these initiatives, as well as the local community, while satisfying the goals of a regional SAN plant. And I greatly appreciate your time today and your consideration and listening to me. I want to add just one quick note to what Nick said, which is to say that I don't think we've had the opportunity to speak in an integrated manner with staff about the development of a optimal hybrid or pilot or whatever you want to call it. I don't think that the right solution necessarily is to take all 11 megawatts or 12 megawatts out and plop them over there and replace it with all hydrogen fuel cells. But I do think there's some sort of a best of both worlds scenario that could be developed that would accomplish, a lot of the things that I think we all strive to sort of look to the future, while at the same time the operational requirements in the plant are served. So that's where I'm going to pause. And I think, did we have others that wanted to talk? Or?
I think there's some folks in the public comments. I think that we'll stop there and obviously answer questions, and we do appreciate it. Again, I think the request is very simple. Let's hit a pause. Let's broaden the scope of the RFP to include hydrogen fuel cell technology, open that up to the world. Let's evaluate those and provide an apples to apples comparison. I think really our region's climate change future really deserves that kind of thoughtful and deliberate discussion. So we appreciate your time this morning.
Okay, thank you, Nick.
Member Valenzuela has her hand raised.
Okay, Director Valenzuela.
Thank you, Chair. I guess I have a question for staff, because I'm hearing what the request is here in terms of an integrated conversation feels reasonable. I support the cleaner technology of fuel cells. I also hear what staff is saying in terms of reliability. This is a different scale of operation, and I'm very concerned with flaring of the biogas and some of the steps we might have to take if there were any issues. So I guess to Christoph and the team, is there any sort of timeliness concerns about hitting this pause button and having a little bit more of this integrated conversation as the fuel cell companies just mentioned?
It's a good opportunity for me to make one clarification on the timeline. I know Steve said the words 18 months, but the slides say 8 months. So I just want to get clarity that we were suggesting 8 months, which is not that far off from what you guys had said. The time, really, the concerns on timeline is somewhat related to our SMUD agreement expiring, but I would say even more so, the biggest concern for us is just the accelerating or escalating construction costs and trying to get whatever project we end up with bid as soon as we can. So that's really the issue. And I think our council has told us that we do have to start the back at the RFQ process. So that's the direction that we're taking.
Okay. And when does the SMUD agreement expire, Christoph?
What was that?
The agreement with SMUD you just mentioned, when does that
2025, is it? October of 2025.
Oh, okay. So we've got, so you're looking at the timeline of construction and when that would expire and potentially us going past that. I'm sure SMUD would be open to sort of, I hesitate to use, I'm not a technical expert in this month-to-month agreement in terms of we needed to go a little past October 2025. I guess it's my preference to see a little bit more of this discussion happen. I don't know if it's going to take a ton of time, given the level of enthusiasm and engagement with all sides here. But I guess I just put that out that that's my interest. I'm seeing both sides here. I'm very concerned with flaring. I'm also really interested in seeing cleaner technologies deploy. And I think maybe a little bit more discussion would make me feel more comfortable in overall direction here. Thanks, Chair.
Thank you, Director Valenzuela, for your comments. Any other directors?
I'm just going to add one thing. If any of the directors would like to contact me individually, I've already expressed my concern about the delays, about the increase in construction cost, and about my significant concerns about the reliability of this technology in this application. I still think that if they want to have a larger pilot program, then do the stub out, build the hydrogen generating facility there, utilize the gas that you can use with your what appears to be proprietary technology for the removal of the sulfur. But in addition to my license in civil engineering, I'm also licensed in corrosion engineering. So I know quite a bit about the electrochemistry behind all of this. And as I already stated, I'm not in favor of switching from the known technology that we know will continue to operate this plant by doing a major experiment on a project of this magnitude.
Thank you, Director Howell. I see that Director Cerna has his hand raised. Director Cerna?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I was just going to ask you just a housekeeping item here. Are we going to hear from the local air district? I know we have a representative there.
Yes, Mr. Lemus has signed up under public comment, but he told me before the meeting that he's also available if there is a question. So unless there are no, would you like to wait till after he makes his public comment?
I'll certainly have comments, but I'd like to hear from our local air district first.
And I just wanted to let everybody know, unfortunately, I have another commitment, so I have to leave this meeting. So Christoph, if you could give me a call later on and let me know what direction this went in, I would appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Director Howell. Okay, so after public comment, obviously Director Cerna will be the first on deck, but I see that Director Harris has his hand up as well. Director Harris?
Yeah, Chair, I'll make my comments after Director Cerna and once the air district has presented.
Okay, no further remarks at this point from either Fuel Cell Energy or staff. I will turn to public comment, and we have Jaime Lemus signed up to speak in chambers. Jaime, please. How much time do you need? I have 5 minutes set aside. And it sounds like you have some follow-up questions.
It should be only 4 or 5 minutes.
Okay.
I feel like we should have brought the entire district here with us. So just good morning, Regional Sanitation Board Chair, members of the board and staff. So my name is Jaime Lemos, and I am the Transportation and Climate Change Division Manager at the Sacramento Metropolitan Air Quality Management District. And I want to express my gratitude for the openness to have this discussion. These are difficult discussions because it is about our future and of course, our agencies. We've had similar discussions when we deployed the zero-emission school buses, and I'm sure the school districts had very similar discussions. We've also had this type of discussion when we deployed our community car share and as we're investing in infrastructure. So these conversations are about our future, and they're very challenging, but they're very necessary. Some of you may know that the Sacramento region is in severe non-attainment, so any additional combustion pollution, when unplanned, only adds to an already difficult task of meeting the federal air quality standards, which is why having a source of hydrogen in our region can provide many opportunities for our future as we continue the transition from combustion vehicles to zero emission, especially within the heavy-duty goods movement sector. This is critical, so the district is prioritizing renewable hydrogen for the region as a viable source and zero-emission solution for commercial freight vehicles. We're not only investing in hydrogen infrastructure, but we're also encouraging other jurisdictions and entities to look into hydrogen and invest in hydrogen. Our agency has been meeting with various hydrogen production companies and know that there's viable technology in the market that can make use of ideal resources such as biogas. We invite the regional sanitation to join us and visit some of these technologies that are out there. The Sacramento district is also aware that sometimes state agencies operate in silos and create regulations that can cause unintended barriers. However, working together with strategic alternatives, we may be able to get past some of these barriers. DTSC may be imposing requirements on regional SAN that counter the state's climate change agenda and specifically the support of hydrogen. The Sacramento Metro Air District would support any joint conversation with the state agencies on the governor's office. A couple notes from the comments made by Mr. Nebuzuk on SMUD. Currently, the 4 agencies, SMUD, the Sac Metro Air District, Regional SAC-RT, and SMUD meet together on a monthly basis. And I know that our director, Alberto Ayala, has invited the director of Regional SAN to these conversations. And the reason this is important is because we have to be in alignment as all our agencies, all our local jurisdictions to combat climate change. So with that, I leave you, and I want to thank the board for this opportunity.
I mean, thank you very much for those comments. Couldn't agree with you more, and you probably should stay there at the podium. Okay, so I will now go to Director Cerna. Well, I'm sorry, before that, Phil, was there any other public comment?
Yeah.
There are 2 telephonic public comments.
Phil, did you want to talk to Jaime directly or wait till after the rest of the public comment?
I'll wait till after the balance of public comment. Thank you.
Okay, so unless there is another preference by the directors, let's finish out the public comment, the rest of the public comment first, and then go back to the directors.
Please send the first caller. Hello, caller.
Hi, this is Kelly.
Please start your public comment. You have 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. Hi, thank you for this opportunity. I am Kelly Sammons with Cummins, a leading innovator of energy technologies with over 100 years of experience, including solutions that help deliver clean, sustainable energy. Combined heat and power, or CHP, with renewable digester biogas-fueled engine generators is one of those technologies. Cummins is also a leader in hydrogen and fuel cell technologies. Based on our understanding of the requirements of this project, we are confident that the established basis of design, making use of biogas engine generators in the CHP application, is the best fit. When considering available technologies, several factors are to be considered, including initial cost, operating efficiency, operational flexibility, reliability and durability with the given fuel, and environmental impact, including impact on air quality and water consumption. The current basis of design provides a low capital cost solution that also has proven low maintenance costs and high fuel efficiency, which leads to a low total operating cost for the life of the project. And by making use of both the electrical and thermal output of the generators, the system efficiency is also at the high end of current technologies. This basis of design makes use of multiple generators that operate in parallel. The nature of these generators allow them to be quickly started and stopped, which means that the capacity can be optimized real time to match variations in biogas production and facility load, which makes the best use of the renewable digester biogas. This is a proven technology, but it's not outdated. Many years of experience and development with the engine and exhaust treatment technologies have resulted in technical improvements that not only drive up efficiency and durability, it's also delivered a solution that meets even the most stringent local air quality requirements. The Laguna treatment plant in Santa Rosa is a good example of one of the many installations of this type that's operated successfully for years. Another important aspect of the environmental impact is that since this CHP design makes use of closed-loop cooling, there's no water consumption. And finally, Regional San needs to have a solution in place to meet the upcoming deadline for making use of the digester gas when the current contract expires. And this basis of design is on track to meet that deadline. We see this not as a choice of the best technology, but a choice of what technology is the best fit for this application. The current biogas CHP design has the proven capability to deliver an operational system in the required timeline, delivering high efficiency and low total cost of ownership while meeting the air quality standards and consuming no water with minimal fuel treatment required. Thank you.
Thank you. Next caller, Alma.
Hi, caller. Please start your public comment. You have 5 minutes. Hello?
Thank you very much. Hello. Yeah, this is Jack Brower. Can you all hear me?
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. My name is Jack Brower. I'm a professor of mechanical and aerospace engineering here at UCI. That's UC Irvine. And I also direct the National Fuel Cell Research Center and the Advanced Power and Energy Program. I've been doing research on fuel cells, electrochemistry, and electrolysis and hydrogen for the last 24 years here at UCI. And I appreciate the opportunity to speak to you in favor of your consideration of fuel cells. Fuel cells can, at much higher efficiency, convert your biogas to electricity, providing the most valuable resource from that biogas. They also can be tuned to provide various amounts of heat and electricity. I heard some comment there about the need for boilers, which still may be needed in the ultimate design, but you could make it so that those boilers would have to operate very, very seldom because of that tuning capability. I also heard lots of comments about the reliability of fuel cell systems operating off of biogas. And it is true that historically the biogas operating fuel cell systems have had uptime that was far lower than that of the very high uptime of fuel cell systems in general. Fuel cell systems in general are highly reliable, more reliable in fact than even gas turbines, which we rely upon for our grid stability. But when it comes to operating on biogas, historically, the gas cleanup systems have been not as reliable as they needed to be. But over the last 10 years, that has changed very substantially, and I believe that the information regarding that reliability, the reliability of those systems that was used in the report was actually very old data. The very newest of these biogas cleanup systems that are owned and operated by the same fuel cell manufacturers can deliver very high reliability and uptime for these fuel cells. I want to make one final point, and that's associated with the fact that these fuel cells emit also zero criteria pollutant emissions. And this is super important for the policy goals of SMUD and of Sacramento Sanitation District and of the state in general, where we not only want to reduce greenhouse gas emissions, but also criteria pollutant emissions, which affect air quality and health. This is also consistent with federal policy, which is now putting a whole bunch of support to electrochemical energy conversion technologies in their hydrogen hub and hydrogen production activities. I guess that's one final point that I could also make, and that is that the vector of directing that biogas, your valuable biogas, to transportation applications is also enabled by the very efficient production of hydrogen in a trigeneration type of operating conditions. So I strongly urge the board to actually allow a fair competition for fuel cell technologies to be allowed to compete and to bid into the process of developing your systems going into the future for using your very valuable biogas. Thank you for the opportunity to comment.
Thank you, caller. Madam Clerk, any other callers in queue?
That concludes your telephonic public comment, yes.
Okay, so I will close the public comment and now turn it over to Director Cerna.
Great. Thank you, Mr. Chair. And let me start, as others have, by thanking Steve and the staff of our district for, I think, doing an outstanding job in their presentation. Certainly understand the perspective, the concerns coming from staff. I also want to thank Mr. Abdis and the representatives from the fuel cell side of the discussion here today for, I think, doing an equally thorough job of responding very specifically to the concerns that have been expressed by the district, not just today, but in the recent months as well. I think the last caller really kind of solidifies for me the position that I have, and it's a position that I hold not as a product of knee-jerk consideration here, just to gravitate towards the latest technology that deservedly gets a lot of acclaim and media attention these days in terms of our efforts to reduce carbon emissions. But having thoughtfully, I think, considered the prospect of not only reducing carbon emissions with fuel cells by use of the biogas feedstock from the plant. But let's not forget that it's not just the emissions that would be controlled on site at the plant if we were to just give fuel cells a chance at competing with internal combustion electricity generation. But it's the fact that you would be producing fuel for a zero emission transportation, and that is a laudable goal that I suspect most, if not all of us on this board understand and appreciate. So for me, it really kind of comes down to this, a fundamental observation I had while Regional SAM was concluding their remarks. And that is, if every wastewater treatment operation in the state or across the country were to have these concerns and no one dared step forward and at least gave a different technology an opportunity, we would never see any change. We'd always rely on internal combustion engines. There would be no progress. I mean, I respect certainly Director Howell's concerns, and I think she made very clear, and she has in the past, that she has the dual insights as a longtime member of this board and as an engineer. Well, I know that many of us wear multiple hats. I know I do, and one of them is as a member of the California Air Resources Board. And as was cited, it is weekly, if not daily, that our state board that is committed to the reduction of carbon emissions and criteria pollutants to advance public health, and of course, with a very focused eye, most recently on environmental justice, that I can't feel that I've done my job any justice as a member of that board or as a member of the Board of Supervisors, who is considering the climate action plan with the goal of carbon neutrality by 2030, or as a member of the local air district, or as a member of the regional transit district that I would assume at some point would love to have an opportunity to see our fleets run on fuel cells. I can't do any of that justice by ignoring the fact that, maybe it's challenging at times to be first. And in fact, we wouldn't be first here. I think we would benefit from the fact that, as the fuel cell advocates mentioned, the technology is not that of 10 years ago. The technology deployed to ensure that sulfur doesn't get into the system is different than it once was. But I really believe that wearing all those hats and given our charge to protect public health, to reduce carbon emissions, to advance clean fuel and zero emission transportation options, leads me to a very clear position today to direct staff to widen the RFP so that it does give fuel cell operators or companies the ability simply to compete here. And as was mentioned by Mr. Abdus, this is not about selecting a single operator or firm to do it. This is simply a matter of I think being fair and wise about the future of how we look at a cleaner operation at the district and giving it a chance. Today is really about giving it a chance. So I know that there's other directors that are in the queue, Mr. Chair, but I would certainly, if there's a motion needed, put the motion on the table now to do exactly that, to have staff widen the RFP so that it does not exclude fuel cell operators from responding to accomplish what I think would be an elevated goal of producing hydrogen from our biogas feedstock at the regional plant.
80 seconds.
Okay, so thank you. So we have several other members. We have a motion and a second, and we have several other directors in the queue to speak. So before we move forward, I did promise at the beginning of this, at the outset, that I was going to give staff, and I have some questions for staff myself before we take action on the motion. So I will hold off on that for now, if that's appropriate. And I'll turn to, I believe we had Director Harris, Director Villegas, and then Director Hume. So thank you, Director Cerna.
Thank you, Chair. I agree with all of Director Cerna's comments, and I think that the comments offered by the professor from University of California at Irvine were valuable. I look at this from an agency perspective and a regional perspective and even a global perspective. A lot of information has been brought forth today. I would definitely be in favor of expanding the RFP. And as we go out to these fuel cell companies, it is going to be incumbent upon them to show us as an agency, our staff, that the fuel cleaning technology is actually there, that there can be continuous throughput, that they can achieve the efficiency that they claim that they can and the uptimes. They need to address the process heating element as far as working with regional SAN. And if they can provide robust data, current data, as the professor from Irvine said is available, then I think that we have an opportunity here to meet climate goals as well as the agency goals. I think this is a very important discussion and an inflection point for this agency. And certainly as a board member of 8 years, I want to see the proof here, as does our staff. If the data are there that support fuel cleaning technology such that this could run as efficiently as a natural gas fuel cell, then I think we should seize this opportunity. And but be creative about it. Could be a pilot program that just produces hydrogen. Could be a full-on fuel cell technology in lieu of combustion engines to meet the agency's needs. But I believe that this board and our staff deserve to have a full set of data. And the last comment I want to make is this RFP should be made available to multiple fuel cell providers, along with Fuel Cell Energy. I know personally, because I had a meeting with them, that Bloom Energy is interested in providing a proposal to regional SAN. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Director Harris. I appreciate those comments and the suggestions about what the RFP or maybe the scope of what the RFP might entail. So, I mean, I think before we take any action on a motion, we should maybe hear a little feedback from Christoph about that very thing. But before that, Christoph, hold off. I'll go to Director Villegas.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. And I also am interested in hearing staff's feedback on that. So I think I have a comment, then a question. So I largely agree with Director Howell's earlier comments, certainly about the expertise that we have internally, and I want to thank staff for their very thorough, I believe, very thorough analysis of what our options are, given the situation that we're in at the moment. I don't think staff takes lightly the work that they do, and I think when they use terms like, fuel cells are not viable at the moment. This is a risky precedent. They have reliability concerns, and they also have concerns about impending delays. I take that very seriously. So the question I have for staff, I guess, is if hypothetically, if in fact we were to go with the fuel cell technology, which is still emerging, who's on the hook in the event that down the road it's not working and we are challenged with pivoting midstream? Who's on the hook for both financially, the cost associated with where we are at whatever point, 3, 4, 5 years down the road, and then regulatorily, who is responsible for responding to those two aspects of our endeavor?
Well, so I think there's different answers depending on the procurement process. If you use a power purchase agreement for fuel cells, that's where one of the fuel cell contractors would build the facility and they would sell us energy for a set price. Then a lot of that risk is on the constructor of that fuel cell. If you go the design build route, then well, from you asked about regulatory. Regulatory, we have the responsibility. We can't get out of that. Mm-hmm. So down the road, that project is designed and built and it's not working. We can probably build, I kind of would defer to our attorneys, but we can probably build some protections into that agreement, but that gets a lot harder to get out of as opposed to a power purchase agreement, because we've already paid most of the cost of the construction and it's built. Now what do you do with it?
Understood. Okay, fair enough. Well, that makes sense, and I'm not totally surprised by that. So I think in terms of where we are as a region with our non-attainment status and our ongoing impending attempt to try to become carbon neutral, this is a serious project. We need to take it very seriously. And then the final thing I will say, I actually heard the applicant say at one point they would be interested in exploring a pilot of sorts, a meaningful pilot, not necessarily, it's kind of all or nothing, opening up the RFP, which I'm not in favor of. But in the event that this was an opportunity to move forward with staff's recommendation, but explore what a reasonable pilot looks like, not driven by the applicants. This isn't about the applicant making money. This is about the district figuring out whether or not a pilot results in emerging technology that we want to further explore, right? We aren't a playground for making money at our expense. We have to control the cost. We are responsive to the ratepayers. So I think what I would encourage us to consider is exactly that, a meaningful pilot, but driven by staff that actually is a pilot to the fidelity of what a piloting proposal would consist of, not driven to make somebody money. So I just want to put that out there, because I think I hear staff exploring the stub-out notion and concerns about flaring. There are possibilities that a pilot might result in new information that we want to consider, but not necessarily wholesale agreement.
I would just say from the staff perspective that we did work on that for a while to try to come up with something. And what we ended up with is that without getting out, trying to still get out of the covered process, we only had the 100 cubic feet per minute, which is a small amount. It doesn't run their smallest fuel cell, and I think that's the challenge we ran into. So we ended up with, well, can we still stub it out and have that available? Because you can, using the reformer, you can generate hydrogen from it. That's where we ended up.
Okay, thank you, Director Villegas. I'll go to Director Hume.
Thank you, Chair. I won't speak too long because I spoke so much in the beginning, but I appreciate sort of the line of reasoning that Director Villegas was just mentioning with respect to pilot programs, flexibility, and also who assumes a lot of the risk. And I will commend this district because I think that we have been very diligent and forthright in using pilot programs in the past, not only to establish proof of concept, but also to then reduce the expenditures when the full-blown implementation is done at a later date. And so I guess where I'm coming from is that, again, I wish we had had this policy level discussion earlier in the process, because I think it is a departure from potentially standard rules or standard procedures that staff is more comfortable with if we pursue emerging technology. But I view this as a once in a generation potentially opportunity. The SMUD contract, I believe, was a 30-year contract. Obviously, whatever we invest in these combustion engines is going to have a shelf life as well. And so I'm not saying that I am fully in the we should go one direction or another camp, but I think that having the conversation and exploring the data and flushing out some of these details relative to risk and cost and viability is an important conversation to have, and that we only have one opportunity to do so, and that's before we really do more than dip our toe in the pool. So I'm generally in support of the motion. I do like the line of reasoning that Director Villegas put forward, and I again thank staff for their careful consideration of this. But I do wish that we had had this discussion earlier in the process. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Hume. I'll move to Director Sander.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. This has been a very interesting discussion. I want to thank staff for some really great work here. I particularly appreciate sort of the leveling with us. I didn't feel like we were getting a veneer of any kind that felt like real opinion, and I think that should be a standard that we always have here in the agency. I have sort of a framing of this issue. I'm not sure I've heard anyone speak to directly other than some comments from staff. And that's how very often when we have an environmental goal in mind, and I certainly share those, we get the frame wrong. You know, we look at something in great detail, like at a point, and we fail to realize the context within which that point operates. So we've had some very high profile examples of this recently. MTBE added to gasoline, was supposed to cause gasoline to combust more thoroughly, which it did. Unfortunately, it contaminated groundwater all over the state, required billions of dollars in remediation, net environmental loss. Recently, we had the governor and the state make comments and regulatory decisions about closing nuclear plants in our state before they were necessarily timed out due to economics or otherwise. And we've also had regulations about not allowing any new power generation in California. And those sorts of decisions have forced us to triple our natural gas imports from Russia in recent years and have caused us to buy electricity because we can no longer provide adequately for ourselves in California. We buy electricity from out of state, some of which is coal produced. So again, net environmental negative. In this particular case, I heard our engineering staff pretty clearly say, well, at this one point, yes, this could be a more efficient technology to apply. But in the context of the plant, it fails, even with best assumptions. So if we are going to take a harder look at this, by all means, let's do that. But you've got to take the right frame. You can't just look at a single point and say, oh, look, that's better. We have to look at the entire system, the entire operation of what we do, and determine whether or not in that global-like context, this technology makes sense. We cannot afford to continue to make mistakes that cost our ratepayers, and let's just be fair about this, our ratepayers millions, tens of millions of dollars. And that will be a burden for the most socioeconomically challenged of them more than anyone else. We can't make those sorts of decisions just by looking at a point in the entire system. Let's examine the entire system.
Okay, thank you, Director Sander. I believe Director Frost had her hand up.
Thank you, Chair. I want to concur with a lot of the statements that were made on all sides, and I really agree. I wish it wasn't so late in the process, because I'm not opposed to exploring opportunities with fuel cells and exploring every way we can get better results. I'm sensitive to the idea that we have a fiduciary responsibility to the taxpayers, and we've spent a lot of money and we've been down a 2-year process to get to where we are. And I'm very sensitive to the idea that inflation could, continue to move forward, and supply chain issues are very real. And so cost could become a real issue for us. I feel, like it was probably more eloquently stated by other directors that, given this project, the fuel cells didn't provide the best environmental result at this time. Not to say that in the future they may be the ideal, and technology seems to be moving pretty quickly. So I think it's important for us to be open as we move forward to find ways to work together and find ways that we can incorporate fuel cell technology if possible. And I'm also feel we have a responsibility to the commodity agreement with SMUD, and to do our due diligence to ensure that we deliver in a timely manner. And also, I think it goes back to, we definitely want the plant to keep running smoothly. It's everything staff has done to bring us through this huge multi-billion-dollar project is amazing, and everything is going so well. We don't want to jump headfirst quickly into something and then end up wishing having to go back and reorganize and do something different. I think we should move forward with this RFP, but in the near future, try to figure out how we can incorporate fuel cell technology and use the pilot that was suggested and be open-minded. And so that is my support is toward moving forward with the RFP and a pilot moving forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Frost. Any other directors with their hands raised?
I do not see any other directors with their
Okay.
hands raised.
Well, I will just ask a question. Christoph, are there any incentives from the state? You know, if we reopen this RFP, open it up to fuel cell technology, are there any incentives or offsets potentially available if we went that direction that might offset some of the other costs that will be increasing?
There potentially are. I'm not the expert there, so I don't know if we might want to have Adam. Would you be? Yep.
Yeah, the engine project is not reliant on grants or incentives to have that positive net present value. It's also larger than what most programs offer is available. So there's a 5 megawatt cap on things like the self-generation incentive program. So engines would not get funding at this moment. Fuel cells may under SGIP. They recently positioned to try to exclude engines so that was so that only fuel cells were eligible, and they were successful in that maneuver. So they could get potentially some funding for a portion of the project, but the project overall is too large for what most programs are geared toward.
Okay, well, no, thank you. I appreciate that. I mean, I just think that's, again, part of the discussion. I agree with a lot of what's been said by my fellow directors, really kind of on both sides. I think that the tension here we're all feeling, we know we have a fiduciary obligation to our ratepayers, and all of us are concerned with some of the delay and potential increased costs, but I think we also have an opportunity here, and I feel like that I don't have all the information. I think what I'd like to, I know we have a motion and a second on the floor. My question is, some of the things that have been brought up in terms of the RFP, in terms of the risk in ensuring that whatever we do, that the contractor, how do we ensure the contractor assumes the risk if there's some kind of failure, and also if someone can't meet the exclusive needs, how do we construct some kind of hybrid? I mean, could we incorporate those things into an RFP? So the board can really have a full and fair consideration about this and our alternatives.
Well, first, I just want to comment on the motion itself. It's district council's opinion that the RFQ would need to be reissued. I know that Mr. Avdis has a different opinion and has a broad reading of the language there, but the purpose of an RFQ is to narrow to a list of firms that have the experience, the skills, the ability to handle the specific project and the accurate, an accurate description of that project. And in the RFQ, it's specifically to a biogas engine system. So it's not just changing a relatively small detail in the RFQ or what was asked of these firms to provide and what they and the submittals that they've put forward that have been based on this, specific technology. So it is district council's opinion that if the board were to move that to expand the RFP, the RFQ is going to need to be reissued. So I just wanted to clarify that.
Which would be time consuming, obviously. Okay. And then I think that as part of that process, we would need to explore maybe some different options. I mean, I know you're looking at the smaller pilot, but we hear it from Fuel Cell Energy. Maybe there are other options out there for a hybrid if they're not able to meet our exclusive needs. I don't know. I'm kind of struggling with this. I mean, I watched a few episodes of Bill Nye the Science Guy in preparation for this hearing today, but didn't take much away from it. But so not only that, but again, the risk, because I agree with Director Valenzuela too. I'm very concerned with the potential that we would have to flare some of this biogas, right? If there is say we go with the fuel cell technology, and there is a failure, and we have to flare the gas. I mean, that's a big concern of mine as well. So, Christoph, could you respond to some of the concerns, I guess, that I'm bringing up?
Well, yeah, I think, let me give a little bit of perspective. When I came into this, I was thinking we had a couple paths, either the sort of the tried and true, which is the staff recommendation, or potentially what I keep hearing is a hydrogen project. And I'm concerned that what we've done is we've tied fuel cells to hydrogen. When you don't need a fuel cell to generate hydrogen, you can do that with the reformer. And what that does is it opens up. So if we're going back, we should go back and look, as we already did a feasibility study, and we looked at different technologies, and fuel cell got near the bottom, and I'll just say that because of our concerns with the reliability, so nothing new there. But there were other options in the middle that we aren't even talking about, and I feel like if we're going to go back to the drawing board, we got to do this quickly. I'm very concerned about the cost escalation, but if we're going to go back to the drawing board, I would allow those opportunities to be at least reconsidered before we come back with an RFP. And some of those don't even require an RFQ, because it's pipeline injection, or it's building just a reformer there at the plant and providing hydrogen, which would, I guess that would be a bid project as well. So that would be just my suggestion. That gets to some of the concerns I've heard. It also gets to Director Sanders' comments about looking at this globally and making sure that we're doing what's best for the environment, as well as what meets the needs of the district.
Well, so I guess considering we have this motion on the floor, which is to just open up the RFP, it sounds like that's just not even really possible just to do that. So I mean, I guess I would turn back to the maker of the motion and see if there was any maybe modifications that you might want to make, Director Cerna, to it.
Well, if our council is saying that, or giving us advice that we can't do it as I've suggested in the motion, I certainly don't want to get crosswise with the legality of the motion. But if it requires, an RFQ to be recomposed and sent, then I guess that would be part of the motion. That basically the substance of it is simply to permit competition or at least consideration from a wider perspective that does not exclude fuel cell technology.
Is that would that be sufficient? I mean,
yes, I think that's
okay.
sufficient. I mean, it basically gives us a chance to investigate and assess whether or not an RFQ would be needed, or if there's another process to go by way to issue an RFP.
So just for clarification from the staff perspective, I would just want to know whether we have the ability to look at anything other than the two technologies, basically beyond just, what I'm needing clarification on is it just go back and look at a new RFQ that now includes two technologies, or is it to go back and also look at some of those other possible technologies and come back with a recommendation?
Director Cerna?
That's a question that's a question for our council, not for me.
I imagine it would have to be open.
Well, I think what Christoph is asking for is direction from the directors. Is the direction from the board just to look at fuel cell technology, or is it to look at any other potential viable technologies that could be used for this project? So Christoph can correct me if I'm wrong, but is the motion itself limited to fuel cell technology, or really opening it up to other possibilities?
As the maker of the motion, my intent was to expand it from what it currently is, which is simply internal combustion engines, to expand that to include the opportunity for fuel cell technology to compete in the RFP process. I'm not aware of other technologies, so that's why I've kind of limited it to those two.
Okay, so I think we have some clarity on the motion, and we have a second.
Does Member Kennedy still second that motion?
He does.
Thank you. And I see that Director Frost has her hand raised.
Director Frost.
Thank you. I just wanted to make sure I understood. So what we're talking about then is starting over, because we cannot just expand the RFP. We have to start over, is my understanding, based on council's comments.
Council, can you respond?
It could depend on how the process goes, but if we're talking about changing this project and how the RFQ is currently laid out, which is specific to biogas engines, then yes, our opinion is that the RFQ needs to be reissued.
So then my next question is, does the motion just say expand it, or does it say cancel and start over? I'm not sure I understand what we're looking at.
The motion says open it up to include fuel cell technology. Is that correct, Director Cerna?
It is, and I augmented it based on our council's comments, such that if necessary, that could include reissuance of the RFQ. But I'm hearing from council now 3 times. There's no conclusion that that is necessarily the case today.
Right. So Director Frost, that's not start over or not. That will have to be determined. The motion is to open it up to fuel cell technology, and then council working with staff will determine the path to make that happen.
So we're being asked to make a decision without knowing if we're starting over?
Well, we will be voting on this motion knowing that there will still be some evaluation by county council and staff about where we, I guess, have to pick up with the process.
So then my question to council is, are we voting then to explore what it looks like and come back and vote on it?
What I'm saying is, my understanding is that Director Cerna's motion is that his motion includes if an RFQ is necessary to move forward to expand the RFP. My office is fine to look at it again, to try to be flexible, to see if there's a way to do it without having to redo the RFQ. But as I sit here today, we've looked at it. We believe this kind of change would require the reissuance of an RFQ. But certainly we're willing to try to be flexible if there's something that we determine that would not require that. And so I believe, Director Cerna's motion says if it's required for an RFQ. So I think that's sufficient.
I think that,
from a legal perspective.
So you're going to come back and let us know, and we'll vote on that at a later time?
Well, Director Frost, I believe that we will be getting updates on what that means in terms of the time frame, but the direction would be clear to staff on which way to go.
I'm sorry, I'm still not clear. I'm not sure if we're starting over or not, and I think that was important consideration for me. I don't think we know if we're starting over or not. Am I clear on that?
From what I'm hearing, there's some uncertainty about the exact time frame and if it's starting completely over or starting or engaging at some point along the process. But council will determine what is needed to accomplish the objective of the motion.
Chair, if I may ask a clarifying question of council as far as how long that determination might take to arrive at whether or not we can proceed forward or whether or not we have to go back and start over? Do you have a timeline on that?
Council.
Well, we would need to coordinate with staff to determine what the potential options are. And so I suppose by maybe the next meeting, I know that we're not meeting in June, but maybe in July, we could come back to this board.
Okay, so then in that case, would it be prudent, and obviously this would have to be subject to the maker of the motion or a substitute motion, but would it be prudent to maybe to have a check-in back just to determine what our actual timeline might be, and then take the temperature of the board at that point?
I think are you directing that to the maker of the motion, Director Hume?
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm asking if Director Cerner would like to amend the motion to get more information so that we know what we're actually instructing staff to do in the timeline associated with that.
I don't know why it's become increasingly complex for some. The motion's fairly simple, and I think the council has made it even more clear that as the maker of the motion, I'm agreeing that they're going to go back, they're going to double check to see whether RFQ is required or not. And if it is, then that would have to be recirculated, which my understanding is a precursor to the RFP, is it not?
Yeah, I think that's the point that I'm trying to make, is that the motion is clear and council backs it up. However, the timeline implications of what the process is as a result of staff's findings is a pretty large variable.
Well, yeah, but that's not an action by us. So I don't know why you would even put that into a motion.
Right. I would agree with Supervisor Cerna. I mean, it's council and staff will determine what is necessary to carry out the objective of that motion. We don't know everything at this point. The motion is about providing that direction to staff. I see we have Director Sander also with his hand up. Director Sander?
Yeah, just in points of clarification here. As I understand the motion, this would expand the technology we're looking at to a single additional technology, fuel cell. It would not be a global, let's look at this all again, including fuel cells. It would just be specifically adding fuel cell. And based on what council's already said, it seems like this is if I remember the staff numbers correctly, an 8-month process to restart. Basically, this is a restart. And there would be additional complications with our contract with SMUD and potentially additional fines that are the reason for this process to begin with, coming from our operation with SMUD and the necessary flares that happened during that process. So there's definitely a financial impact here and an unknown in terms of what happens with an expiring contract with SMUD.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, go ahead.
As the maker of the motion, can I respond to that?
Yes.
That is not accurate. Maybe there's a misunderstanding there. I am simply saying, take the work that staff has already done relative to the RFQ, RFP for what they had designs on to begin with, which is to use internal combustion engines to make use of the biogas feedstock, and expand it to include fuel cells, so that both firms that can do the internal combustion alternative have a chance to compete alongside the fuel cell folks.
Thank you, Director Cerna. I'm going to call the question.
So we have a motion by Director.
We have a motion by Director Cerna, a second by Director Kennedy.
Okay. Member Bruins?
Aye.
Member Harris?
Aye.
Frost?
No.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Sander?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Villegas?
No.
And Desmond?
Aye.
And the motion carries with members Frost and Villegas voting no.
Okay, thank you. And thank you, staff, for all your work. And thank you, directors, for the robust conversation. There will be a lot more discussions about this issue, I'm sure, in the months and years to come. Okay.
We still have, we're moving on to consent items for Sacramento Area Sewer District, items 9 through 12.
Yes, so we have any members or directors with comments or questions about consent items 9 through 12?
I do not see any hands
Any
raised.
public comment?
We did not receive any public comment.
Kennedy, move approval.
Hume, second.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Please call the vote.
Member Bruins?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Cerna?
Aye.
Sander?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
And Desmond.
Aye.
And the motion carries with those members present.
Okay, next we have two Sacramento Sewer District separate matters. And I believe, Christoph, did you want to?
Just really quick, I want to ask if you would like a presentation. Randy Wolf is here to present. If we are losing quorum or anything like that, we can go with just an action.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Director Cerna.
Sorry, just to that point, I am going to have to drop off, so I'm not, I don't know whether or not doing so will compromise the quorum.
That's what I was going to ask, Madam Clerk. I mean, we just lost another director. Do we still have a quorum?
We will barely have a quorum if Mr. Cerna is the only member who leaves.
Okay, if Director Cerna, if you leave, we will still barely have a quorum.
So Frost will have to leave in 20 minutes, 19 minutes.
Christoph, can we put these over, or do you need action on these today?
The
Resolution of intention.
delinquent sewer service charges, we need to take an action today. The long-term financial plan can certainly wait. We can continue that one.
Okay, so Randy, could you just quick on item 13, Madam Clerk, please read that item.
Mr. Chair, if I may, I'll waive staff presentation. If you'll ask for public comment, I would make the motion to approve the intention to lien the delinquent service charges.
Kennedy, second.
Okay, with motion and a second. Any public comment on item 13?
We do not have any public comment.
Okay, then please call for vote.
Member Bruins?
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Cerna? Oh,
Aye.
thank you. Sander?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
And Desmond.
Aye.
And the motion carries with those members present.
Thank you. And then for item 14, I think this was going to take a little more time. The chair would move to continue this item to what, July, Christoph?
That'll be July 13th.
And that would be sufficient? We can continue this one?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Chair moves to continue. Do we have a second?
Hume, second.
Okay, please call the roll.
Member Bruins?
Or call.
Aye.
Hume?
Aye.
Aye.
Kennedy?
Aye.
Cerna? Sander?
Aye.
Frost?
Aye.
And Desmond.
Aye.
And the motion carries to continue the item to July 13th, and there were no public comments on that item either.
Oh, thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, well, the other items are receive and file, and unless there are any comments by directors, and seeing none, I will adjourn this meeting. Thank you, everybody.